Welcome everyone. I am SuuN and I'm the host for today. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check. Okay. I will be your host for today, and we are going to talk about some cozy games. And I have some beautiful people with me. I'm SuuN. I'm from Rocket Beans TV. I'm also a content creator on Twitch. And yeah, maybe just start on the left and we had to exchange two developers, so two new ones are with me today. And maybe just introduce yourself, talk a little bit maybe about your game, what you're doing.
Sure. Hi, I'm Guillem. I'm a cartoonist turned developer. We have a point and click, the first point and click in Catalan ever made, based on comic book characters. And yeah, first time here, but excited.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm part of the Enflame Studio, and we are making a wholesome game about arranging family pictures in albums, so you can discover the story behind the family as if it was a comic.
Hi, I'm Chema from Madrid team, and we are making a game about gravitational puzzles with a cozy aesthetic, with faces and things that you can find at your home, but with a cute animation style, and I think, and that's it.
Hi, I'm Neus. I'm part of Campixel Studio, and we are building a game about cats in Barcelona. You need to find cats in Barcelona. It's a 2D, black and white, very relaxing, very cozy, and I hope you like it. I think it's sometimes over there.
Yes, we can see some of the trailers back there. So my first question for you, there are a lot of different cozy games, but what exactly is it for you that makes a game cozy? Maybe just start on the left again.
I'll
I
start
think
again,
it's
okay.
easiest.
So for me, I think the key element is to feel safe, like have the player feel safe. That's what I would say. But it depends. It's such an open feeling. That's it for me. Just feeling safe.
Okay, so so what is it for you in a game that you think makes people feel safe?
I don't know. Maybe not have scary jumps all the time,
Yeah.
or like not know what you're doing, like feel in control of what you're doing, understand, and kind of forget what's around you, so that you can just explore in peace. Really, it's just
Maybe also the music, like I think that's really important for cozy games. The soundtrack.
correct. Having a soundtrack that puts you in the mood
Yes.
and relaxes you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you.
I also think it has to do with this type of environment, with warmth, and also it must be welcoming and with a positive thinking. I think that's what all of the cozy games share. Even though they have different gameplay features, they are all welcoming, positive, and warm.
Yes.
Only talking about what Guillem has said. I think that the core of this should be like not being in a hurry. The being cozy, it's not being in a hurry. Video games can pass you, I don't know how to say it, can pass you feelings, and the feelings can be transmitted by the mechanics, by the aesthetics, by everything. And I think the most important is, don't worry, you can do it later,
Yeah.
tomorrow, the next week, but you will do or not. It's not don't be in a hurry.
So,
Be chill.
so you can do it in your own time, when you have time, and there's like no competition in the game, like no high scores or something like that. Maybe just a little part of the game.
Yes, like you will do, but so you will succeed, but
Yeah.
not today. Do whenever you want.
Yes.
I think that's.
I really think almost everything is being said, not going in a rush, feeling warm, and don't get this pressure. Also, I really like the point of music you said. In our game, for instance, we have two sets of soundtracks. One is a regular one, and it's very cozy, it's very relaxed, but we got one even more relaxing, more think about neurodivergent people, because I think cozy games have things to say about that too. It's the only thing I will add to all that you have said is that cozy games open the views and are gaming for everyone.
Yes.
That's the point I will go for there.
So anything to add to the first question? Maybe someone?
I think that something very important is the failure. How do you treat the player with the failure? Do you want that person to be worrying about, oh my god, I have failed, like in other games that are not cozy, like in Dark Souls you have to go for the souls that you have lost, and then that's like oh you have failed and now you have to do the shame run to go to the souls. But I think that it's important to tell the person, the player that is playing the game, there's no punishment. You can do. Try it again. There's no problem. Again, or you can do it. Like some encouraging things.
Correct. I have to add, like in our genre, like the point and click genre, like it's been established for years that you don't die, you cannot die, you cannot just kill the player. So that is also a benefit from it.
Yeah, so there are like many different features of a cozy game that makes it cozy. Mostly like just enjoy yourself, take your time, and there are not any mechanics that makes you fail or that just makes you think, okay, no, I'm missing the English word, but it's just not, it's gaming for everyone, like you said. Yeah. So we move on to the next question. Cozy games as an escape from reality. The rise of cozy games seems closely tied to what's happening in the world after the global pandemic, like Corona, and of course, like international conflicts, politics, and games are trying to help us switch off our brain. And what do you think does cozy games bring as well you to the situation when you play it to switch off your brain?
Well, I think it.
No, I think you turn it off.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's shared with other video games. Like it's the world you create. It's like you mentioned the music, and it's this space that you explore, and it has its own rules, and that adds to the vibe of what we just said. Like you feel safe and everything, but also this world and its rules. Once you play a little bit, you obey by something that you already know, and you feel part of the world. It's like it finishes surrounding you with the complements of the art and the music. For me, that's what we add with the cozy games. But hopefully, I would add, we don't have to disconnect completely, because as artists, at least, we have to be aware of the times we're living. So, I don't know, it depends on the cozy game, right? But in my game, if there has to be a mask from the pandemic, it's going to be a mask from the pandemic. Like I'm not, we're contemporary artists, and we have to talk and speak to power, and we have to be against unfairness. So, I don't know, like Noam Chomsky is in my game. Like he's one of the characters. So, we have as artists to push the limits and at least give people the chance to who is this or what is this, and find out for themselves. We don't have to shout it to them, but it has to be there, I think.
Yeah, I think some cozy games can reflect reality, but it is still a way to evade from real world problems. And the way we touch it is always overcoming the problems. And it's a positive message still, even though we are touching some reality aspects. It is a way to escape from the real world, from the real problems, and I think that's why it's raising from the pandemic, the trend for cozy games.
Yeah, I wanted to go another way. Taking back your question, the thing is, we live in a very hard world, obviously because of all the global wars, the pandemic, but even in places that there's no wars, our lives are not easy these days. So we need to offer a space of peace not in order to alienate these people and say, stay home, play your game, don't go out, everything is going to be fine without you. No, 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 no. In terms that recharge, rest, and go out and change the world. So in this case, I didn't know about Chomsky or your game. I love that. And our game too has these little things in the middle. It says, I don't know, adopt and shop, and then things about, because it's about Barcelona, and we have these big issues with tourism that's making very hard for us Barcelonian people to live there. So there will be messages there. So we don't escape the world. We try to shape it.
Yeah, that's great. You have something, Jeff?
I think that everything has been said, so I have nothing to add now.
Okay, no problem. So it's mostly not just completely escaping the real world, but it's just to offer a space of peace where you can go back and just enjoy yourself a little bit. But it's really important still to have a connection to the real world. So that's basically what you're saying, right? Okay, thank you. So we're moving on to the next question, and it's the power of diversity. So especially in cozy games, I think people have developed ourselves the chance to implement a lot of diversity into the games. And I think that it's really important because there never can be enough, because it's really important to show the people that there are diverse people. So what do you think for marginalized communities? Why is it so important for them to implement it into cozy games? And how much do you think is it related to having more diverse and sensitive development teams in cozy games?
I think this goes with the first elements that cozy games have to have. I don't know, have to have, because these games are cozy only if they are cozy to everyone. Yeah. And if you shame or don't include or make a deal about this about diversity and all of this, you are losing a bunch of people that could play, could enjoy, and could be in a safe space, which is the key point of a cozy game.
Yeah.
So if you are not in a safe space, you think that you are not being represented, you will not feel as cozy as you can. You must be in the safest couch ever, and our games should be that couch for everyone.
Were you talking about in terms of the team members or the game characters? Or
I think both sides of it, as well as the development team, as well as the game.
Correct. So when it comes to the character side, I think we all have responsibility. So for example, in our game, we try to switch characters and play both as boys and girls. In terms of diversity, we didn't do as much because we're basing it on our town in Catalonia, so there's not a lot of diversity, but we have a lot of old people in the game. And then when it comes to the team, because we're in the studio, we just get help from whomever. So we would not have said to no to anybody. So we are diverse in cultures, and we'll welcome anybody. So I don't know, but it's only 5 of us. So.
Yeah.
So I think it's the key. The key is to normalize diversity, not only in the game but also in the team. We take everyone. Everyone is welcome to join our studio. We are half women, half men, and the same happens within the game. If the game reflects some aspects of reality, minorities are part of the reality. So there's no way putting them out, and they must be in the game. In our cozy game about family pictures, of course there are some diversity inside because this is part of the world, and this should also be in the video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to add here, we come from Catalonia, and there was a big fight about understanding video games as culture because they were outside it. And when something becomes culture, it needs to represent all that. It's our duty to the world, so we need to help on that. Myself, I've been a teacher for 12 years, so I'm really deep into diversity because I'm in there and I want them this and I want them to be part of our lives and I want to absolutely break down, I think we all hear the idea of game developers, this guy that likes a lot to play, I don't know, LOL, and we also want to break the idea of the perfect gamer. That is the one that spends tons of hours in a dark underground place living with his mother. That's not a gamer anymore. We all are gamers. It doesn't matter where do we come from, which our abilities, which, I don't know, everything. So I think it's something that we are doing, all the teams, but also I feel that it's our duty to society.
Yes. So I think you all had great points, but it's really important to normalize it, to just show the people that are playing your games that it's normal to have like queer people in the game. They are in our community, they are people around us, so it's really important to show that these marginalized people are with us all the time and we need to help them to show the world that they are there and they still need our help. One more question. Do you think it's easier for like smaller indie developer to have this diversity in the games, or because like in the AAA games they have to please a large crowd, and maybe there it's a little bit harder? Do you think it's easier for you?
I don't think it's a matter of large crowds. I think it's a matter of power. AAA games are under such big companies. I don't know if you agree with me, but such big companies and such then big employers that mainly are men, white men with lots of power.
Yes.
That it's hard to make them change their point of views. It can be done, of course, it can be done. A little bit is getting done, but ourselves, we got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And we are more in touch with the real world. So I think it's in terms of power,
Yeah.
the thing.
Right, and I actually have an example for this. I do believe that we have the responsibility, but I think as indie developers that just start, we spend so much time trying to at least learn the craft first, that we kind of put this in the back of our brains. But once it triggers and you think, okay, I have to be more conscious, it just comes naturally. Like at one point in my game, the character has to ask, are you sure you want to do this? And as you know, in Catalan and Spanish, there's genre. So it was clear to me, I made it inclusive. So I said, are you sure? ¿Estás segura? As in female, are you?
Yeah.
Because why would I assume that the person playing is a male? So it's little things like this, like are you asking a woman, like because that's it, why not? So it's little things like this that once you get on the mood, you just go with the flow.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally agree with my colleagues, because smaller teams are also taking conscious of this, and it is a small steps we need to take to get to the point where we all can include that in the game. But it is more difficult in bigger companies, because if you want to do it, you don't have the power. As my colleague said, they are all white men mostly, and if you want to reach someone, it's very difficult to convey the idea you want to put in the game, and you have not as much freedom as you are in a small indie team.
And if I may, it's also a matter of resources, because something we would love to do is have the game be more accessible, and that takes much more time. Like I would love to have blind people have descriptions, but I cannot do it by myself. So that is something that we cannot do because of how small we are. The other stuff, being inclusive, we can when it comes to minorities, but when it comes to accessibility, that is, I think, a handicap.
You had something?
You're a great speakers. You're very great speakers. I don't know how to say when you say all. I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree, and I can say that we as a team in a drift team, we take the decisions in a democratic way. So if we want everyone to say this is going to be like that, and that's it, or and you have to know, and every person in the team can put their experiences on it, and I think that brings the diversity, that everyone in the team can bring what they have, what they feel, or what they say in the same way as always, with no vertical power.
Yeah.
I don't know, with like, oh, if you want, we can. No. It's. I think that this should be like that, and everyone, it's in the same level, no?
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much. That were really great answers. Thank you so much. So the next question is the psychology behind the aesthetics. Cozy games are often visually charming with idyllic nature scenes and cute, innocent characters. What kind of feelings are these games trying to evoke in us? So, yeah, what are the emotions you try to evoke in the people playing your games?
I think that it's important. It's important to be in a relaxed space, to be in I don't know, in a safe space and everything, with the aesthetics and the music, and not be thrilling. But we don't have to lose the point that, or I don't know, it's not for every game, because there are games that don't have a challenge. But if you have a challenge, we don't have to lose the idea of you're chill, you're thinking, but you have to deal with some challenges, I don't know how to say it, but the psychology must go through the idea of victory. If you or no victory, but the succeed, the feeling good of I have done this, I have made this, and this can be through the challenge or through the narrative. I don't know, but we have a puzzle game, so I'm thinking only as a puzzle game. But you have also Short Hike that it's only walking, and it's the greatest cozy game that I have played in my life, and it has no challenge, so it could be good too. I don't know.
Well, even if it has a challenge, the challenge shouldn't be a punishment to the players who don't overcome it as easy as you would think as a designer. You need to reward players who do overcome that challenge, but players who don't, or who are not able, or they just take their time to go through that challenge, they don't have to feel bad or punished. They are just going at their own pace, and they shouldn't be frustrated about that. And also, all of the game aspects play an important role in that sense, not only gameplay, also the cozy, warm aesthetics, soothing melodies and music. Everything should go towards that line.
Yeah.
I would love to tell you that I designed the backgrounds thinking of how they will feel and stuff, but it's not. I think much of us, when we are programming and developing these games, for us it's the game itself.
Yeah.
Like, I have as much fun doing it than playing it. And in my case, when I work on my backgrounds, the watercolors, I just have fun. And it's the coziness itself for me. It's my safe space. I make my tea, and I know I'm gonna be working on this background today, and I just have fun, and it's safe because I know that if I think in technical terms, I know I don't have to make this too contrasted because people will want to click on it, so I do think in this way, but I also know that if I mess up on the watercolor, I'm gonna fix it in Photoshop or something. So for me, it's just having fun, and sadly, I don't really think. I just want to do what's cool for me, and it's a bit selfish, but I think people can tell when they see a watercolor that was done with love. They can see it, and that makes it cozy. But it's not designed in my case, for that.
But I think you also want to express yourself with your backgrounds, and you want to build an atmosphere for this specific scene. So I think you, maybe unintentionally, but you try to express yourself and to wake some emotions for the player.
Correct.
That are playing the game and seeing the background.
I try to make it cool, and that's it. I just But I wish it was like this, but I don't. I just make the watercolor if it fits. Like, sometimes I made a watercolor and it looked different from the other ones, and I had to trash it, make another one. In my case, it's easy. If it's watercolor, it's in the same genre.
Okay.
And that's it.
For me, at the beginning, it was making people have fun in a safe place. But then when people started playing demos at fairs and so on, I don't have a word for that feeling, but when I see it and I feel it from the players, it goes like, this is what I want. And it's when they are sitting there and they make this sound like, oh. And this feeling, which I don't have a name, is what I'm looking for. Because it tells me they are happy, they are relaxed, and they like what they sing and they are doing. And this is what I want.
Yeah. Anything to add? I think also, at least for me, when I play cozy games, that the game has to have like a nice flow. Not a lot of what we talked earlier about, not a lot of setbacks, but just a nice flow of gaming. So how do you try to develop this in your game, like the flow of gaming?
We try to be very, I think we try to be very rewarding to the player by little maybe a tiny sound or whatever that it's and so we get the player engaged so the game goes working with this double line, rewarding and not punishing anybody, but also making the game advance, because if not, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, in the same line we were saying, if the developer feels good developing it, the players will feel good. As he said, he doesn't care much about if there is a mistake in the art, but he knows he's feeling good making it, and it looks nice, so the players will know it and will also feel good. Though there are some things that could evolve based on the reactions and feedback. You can see when the players are playing the demo, but as long as you see they are happy as you are, everything is good, and you don't have to be that technical to, there's not a secret formula that will make the game work and be cozy and welcoming. It is just, if you feel good, the players will notice.
And I think that something that is important is to the people that is developing the game should love the game, but loving the aspects of the game, so you can be in the position of a person that would like to interact with the different things on the gameplay or the elements of your game. But what I was saying is that we see people in our game seeing that they like the faces, they like how they change, or how the emotions they have with other stickers and all of that. And then we see that people put the mouse like above, hovering the stickers, like they were petting them. So then we think, why if you touch the emotions, the stickers, they change their emotions in order of touching it. And then we did it with like a random number, put whatever emotion they have, but they had emotions like sad or angry, because they can be sad and angry. But then one of a person of our team said, I don't like to touch the sticker, and then it starts crying. I would like to love them and give them love. And it's like, if you have love for the elements of your gameplay and know how a gamer known as a person who plays games, not that type of person that was saying later, you will design games with the love that they give you, and you will bring love to the people that is playing.
About what you were saying, I also realized that in my game it also happens. We have a cat bookmark that indicates where the puzzle is incorrect or not. And even if the cat is sad, the players say, oh, he's sad, how can I fix it? How can I make him happy again? So I think that's the point. Even if the expressions are sad or angry, if the players love it as much as you do, they will try to fix the situation and make the cat happy again as when the order is correct and the puzzle is solved correctly.
Laura, we will love to have that cat in our game. The happy version of it.
I only would add that it's exactly what Neo said. It's but applied in my case to our genre, depending on the genre. In the case of a point and clicks, I modulate the rhythm with the conversations and the dialogues, and that the tempo. And also what we had to do a lot was, especially at the beginning, was to diversify how you would find the items and like move them around, so you wouldn't have a lot of items and maybe not more than 3 puzzles at the same time at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
In the second act, you have many puzzles, but at the beginning we said, okay, first you'll do this 2 or this one, and then we moved that around, and that I think that gave us a good tempo. It was hard because we had to move puzzles around, but it was rewarding in the end. And also, like they said, seeing people play and seeing the reaction was what made us shift things, and even include new puzzles. When we saw people wanting to do specific things, we're like, okay, well, you want to staple that plant? Okay, we'll staple it. Weird things, but we added them after they played.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we move on to the next question, and it's a little bit tricky. So often we have in us a little bit of nostalgia. So we're thinking about the past time, maybe our childhood, about better times. So maybe we think back in the past everything was better, and I think it's a little bit dangerous because we idealize the stressless life. And are you concerned that cozy games are maybe supporting this ideological narratives?
Well, I don't think we support this type of narrative because we only take positive things from life. They don't necessarily be from the past, they are also from the present. So if we achieve that all of these ideas we take, this positivism is taken not only from the past but also from the present, or even made up worlds like fantasy, sci-fi, it doesn't have to convey this nostalgic message where things were better in the past. So we just try to reflect there are positive things in any timeline, in any world, and in any situation.
In my case, what we have in the game, we do have a lot of nostalgia because it's a point and click, but we do add a lot of elements from contemporary items, like I said, like the mask from the pandemic, or new technology. Like there was no cell phones in the old game, so you could not instantly call each other. But we do have VHSs and we do have cell phones. Where are the new things we have? I think it just comes naturally. Like you realize that was not in your childhood games and you add it. But I don't know how much. I don't think it has an ideology itself. And in the case of point and clicks, I think the only ideology that you could get of was like people grabbing and stealing stuff from characters. But other than that, if you try to avoid this, like, can I ask for the, you're just more polite these days. But that's about it.
I think that, and also going back of a part of conversation we had before, nostalgia itself makes sense because some of our developers and, well, I don't know about the two in the middle, but I think that the two in the tops, we have nostalgia because we are old enough to have nostalgia. Yeah, I'm calling you all like me.
The shirt, for example.
We are the young ones.
You're the little ones. So I think it's part of our lives, but we are really aware of the tricky part of the nostalgia, saying that past times was better. Which past time? I mean, Spain in the 50s, no, big no. Big no for you too. But maybe our personal childhoods have beautiful things that we want to bring abroad, and it captures the attention of players. In our game, for instance, there's a nostalgia thing because even it's a real Barcelona nowadays, there's no past buildings or whatever. We realized a lot of people that has lost loved one, in this case a cat, they want them to be immortalized in our game, and that's nostalgia in pure essence. To have this cat that will always be remembered because it's in a video game and so on. And I think this is not the bad one. The bad nostalgia linked to sometimes far right. We are not playing that part of the game. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We are taking nostalgia for families that they have their album together with these things. Maybe you are playing nostalgia, going to Monkey Island players. You're like, but in the good sense.
Only the
not the bad
positive
one.
things of nostalgia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct. I think what she said, it's about the childhood idea that the summers are forever and there's no, you kind of lose time, the sense of time. And I think it's about bringing it back to people our age and then giving it our experience to the kids these days. And I think we've been seeing it with people playing our games here. They come and it's related to Cozy because they come and just want to click and skip and stuff. But once they realize that to solve the puzzle, they just have to listen and finish the sentence that was played, they relax and then they get into the world. And I think it's this, people our age that will spend more than 5 minutes and get into the world, they'll appreciate it and they'll have a nostalgia comeback. And the kids that have been playing the game, they kind of get into, it's like playing a TV show, you know, it's like 2D and they get into it. And I think they have a similar feeling because they don't want to leave. You have to kick them out of the booth. Go, next person. So yeah, the good nostalgia, like they said.
Yeah.
I think that the same as Neus and everyone has said, we have to bring only the feelings that we have from when we were a child, or where we have time to have fun with games. But I think that nostalgia is it has ideology, because you were in a political situation in the past and you are now. But if we can bring things as, in our case, the imagination of being in your room and thinking about how things can fly only in your mind, if we can bring back that memories to a person that has, I will not say lost, but I will say that they have left behind. They have left behind the imagination, the curiosity, because you're like working 8 hours a day and then you get to the home and you say, man, I don't want more. I'm completely stressed in my head. So if we can bring them back to a safe space and said, you remember when you imagine things in your head and when you were happy getting into the game totally, that's I think that it's the nostalgia that we have to bring to our games and to the people that play our games.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think that summarized it perfectly. So the next questions are a little bit about the economics in cozy games. Sometimes a little bit about capitalism in disguise. So after all, you have to sell it, and you have to make money out of it. So even though cozy games are meant to distract us from reality, concepts such production money and economic growth are still relevant to the core gameplay in many cases, like simulation games. Why do you think is that it's often like a main focus on it?
That's
So
a tricky question.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any one of you are like developing a game like simulation with economic growth in it.
No, we are not, but I think as long as you don't disguise it and don't hide it, no problem. You should just follow some ethics, make it clear what the player is spending. It should be of their knowledge, because some games hide it and it is difficult to know how much have you spent in a game. In cozy games, I think it's not totally against what a cozy game is, but this aspect needs to be really controlled and following some clear rules to avoid.
I totally agree with Arina. The thing is, Of course, it needs to be profitable because if not, we cannot live and we cannot do more cozy games. That's as easy as this. But the thing is being clear and not push. Because another thing is when maybe you're clear with the amount you're spending, but you're pushing the player because if they don't pay, they cannot play anymore or they need to wait, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
And we play by the rules, but fair rules,
Yeah.
because we don't make the rules, so we only take the good ones.
Yeah.
And I think that as the creator of worlds or creator of experiences, as video game developers, I think that we can talk about capitalism, we can talk about every system or economics as we want, but we can simplify it in a way that it can be nice, it can be a game, it can be, I don't know, it can be cozy, selling things in, I don't know, Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. It is capitalism. You have to pay, I don't know how to say it, rent? You have to pay a rent, and this is like so stressful for many people and so struggling in Barcelona mainly. And with that, you can simplify it, and you can bring capitalism to your home, also to your game, but you have to be, you can simplify it in a way that it's cozy and it's great, and we can create our worlds. Let's create it with the player in mind doing the things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I am making a good point, but I hope that you guys understand it.
I think we all understand what you meant. In our game, for instance, we take all that out because we really don't like capitalism at all, so we don't want it in our game. And we also got this part of solidarity because a part of the profits of our games go for shelters of cats. So we try to explain that to the player and hope they want to do that on their own. You know, like change a bit the world.
I want money. No, I'm kidding. We want to make another one, and if we get money to make another one, we'll do it. And if we get to a point where we can ever do this, then I don't know. We'll probably just end up having one for free or something. Like we do think that knowledge should be free for everybody and accessible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I cannot say it here because I'm not going to get any publishers otherwise, but when it comes to books, like, yeah, there's a way where you get it paid, but I also have it in libraries. Like, I want people to have access to it. So I think we agree on that.
Though I understand we are talking about premium games, I think people already know that we need to make profit. It's our job. But I think the problem comes with those microtransactions, freemium, free-to-play games, which I don't think it's totally against cozy games. But as I said, if you follow some rules, it should be okay. But just be clear at all times, and also don't push the players. If you start pushing them, it'll lose the essence of coziness. We don't want them feel pressure to buy things, and mostly if it costs real money. So I think premium games are not the problem. They understand we need to gain that money. We are clear about it. They buy it at the store, and it's just one more product. The problem comes when these kind of payments are hidden in the game, and they are one and the other and the other, and it's endless, and they are pushing the players.
And it's also a responsibility as consumers in the end, because if we, IPs are awesome and the usual IPs are great, but if we come to a point where it happens like in movies where they spend millions of dollars in one game because of the IP, and then indie games die, then that's it. So we have the responsibility to invest in things that we know were created like we did in our basements, basically.
In my experience, I think that as you have said, you can have microtransactions, but for me, I think that if you want to create a safe space, but you bring things that causes a struggle for people into your games, like paying for microtransactions, you know, we all want to have to earn money because we need I don't know how to say it, but we want to eat every day and we want to sleep in a house. But I think that if a person wants to be in a safe space and wants to be chill at his home, and then you say, "Hey, buy this," to have a better experience or to be more cozy, it's like, man, I didn't have money to pay, and then you're giving me that struggle from the. I was in my safe space, and then you have remember me that I don't have money. I don't have money to pay this. And you know, these things have a cost for the studio, and we have to. And I think that we have to make a great price for the game to earn money and to live and to produce more games. But I think that if we can make that the player only passes that struggle once, don't make it like more times or be yes, or be worried like too many times, or I should need to pay to make this faster or things like that.
Yeah.
I think that if we can reduce that, that can be.
Totally agree.
Yeah, you already moved on a little bit to my next question about mobile games and microtransactions. You talked about it. So basically, it has to be really transparent if you want to implement something like it, and it shouldn't stop you moving on in the game, right? So do you still have anything to say about the microtransactions? For example, in a cozy game, do you think it takes away from the experience? And do you think that there is a ethically way to monetize cozy games, or what is your way to do it?
I think if it is well implemented, it can coexist, but as we said, be clear, and I think that's most of what's important.
I don't want to say it's a big no, because people sometimes get some great ideas, and maybe somebody can show me it can be done nicely, but from my point of view and from where I stand now, I would say it's a big no. Because what he says, it's our life is too difficult as they are. No more punishment, please. No more paying, please. It needs to have a price. It has to be a fair price, because all devs and all the studio needs to have correct wages. This is very important, because in the games we really underpay ourselves always, and this needs to stop. We deserve to be paid what we need, but set a good price, and that's it for me.
Yeah.
So I think mobile market is totally different from the PC. I am not an expert, so I don't know, but I understand mobile games can't always be premium. That's why I was saying, if they are doing it the right way, maybe it can coexist with cozy games, because if they put a premium price, maybe people won't download that game and they need to make a living also. So I think that's a tricky part, where you need to put microtransactions inside the game. I'm not I don't agree with that microtransactions. My game is premium, but still I can understand some developers need to do it, especially for the mobile market.
Yeah.
But as long as you follow that rules, and then you don't want to push the player and make the player buy that and create a necessity. The thing is, you don't need to create that necessity to the player. If the player wants to buy it because they want to support your game and maybe get something cool inside, but that's not strictly necessary for the gameplay, it's good. And I understand they can coexist with cozy games, and they should be coexisting, because otherwise some mobile games wouldn't succeed.
Very good point.
Yeah, in my case, I'm not susceptible to this kind of stuff, but I do know that there's people who can be preyed on, and I think when we try, or people, game developers try to use the psychology of gaming to get money out of people, that is, as they said, a big no-no.
Yeah.
And it should be completely illegal, like it is in some countries. But they're using this kind of gaming to trick people into spending money,
Yeah.
and hopefully the governments will stop that, because it should not be allowed.
I have nothing to add
Okay, okay,
now.
okay. Yeah, so this was the last question. Thank you so much for all your answers. They were really great. So if you have anything to add, some last words, you don't have to, but if you have anything to say about Cozy Games, about your environment, you can do it now, but you don't have to. But if you just want to say something.
Games can be so frustrating, can be the point of your anxiety of the day, I don't know how to say it, the reason of why you anger on a day. But if they can make you that, or they can make you cry, or they can make you laugh, or they can make you I don't know, curse your friend, like they can make you feel relaxed, they can make you feel cozy, they can make you feel safe, and that's it. If games can bring emotions, let's bring the best emotions we can, or the emotions that we have, or that we need to transmit the player, and play cozy games. They are great. Buy our games. We like money, and that's it.
That were some
Yeah.
perfect. Oh, you have
I'd like
something
to add that it's been really interesting taking part in this roundtable. I've learned a lot from my colleagues also, and I think I have nothing else to say, but just go there and try the cozy games we have here in Games from Spain, my colleagues, and also my game.
Yeah, I'm in the same line. Our game is not here, but I'm bringing super nice postcards with the links and everything that we will go around. But I do have something to add.
Yeah.
And I think it won't be told here in this roundtable because we don't have time. But think about it, and especially the organizers.
Yeah.
Cozy games and mental health. Because mental health is a big issue now, and it's absolutely drowning healthcare systems. So let's talk about that. How many people Cozy Games has helped?
Yes.
Why don't we put that on the table? We are a great asset. Use us. Buy us. Pay our rent, please. Use our games, I mean, not us. Or even use our companies to help care systems. Why not?
Yes, sir.
Why not? And also, I do really agree with Arina that it is amazing to be here with you all. And we will meet in Indy that day, won't we? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you so much. That were some perfect closing words. Thank you for having time and talking with me about some cozy games.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.